Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Matt. This is Secondhand Home Theater. And The Last of Us Season 2 just premiered a couple weekends ago on HBO. And so right now I feel like is a good time to talk about The Last of Us Season 1 on 4K UHD disc that I picked up recently from my home theater and let you know whether or not I think this is a demo-worthy series to have in your collection. So stay tuned.
Into the way with a roll around. You come alive, you will love me now. Into the way with a roll around. Come above and come above and come above. You'll love me now. You'll love me now.
Okay, before we get into the actual kind of thoughts and mini review I have, I guess, of this release of The Last of Us on 4K, the first season, I want to make a small kind of mention about why I even own this. Because like most modern TV shows or episodic series that you can find, they're either produced and kind of aired on regular television or cable television, or they're through a streaming service where you can have access to the shows pretty much 24/7 as long as you're subscribed to the service. And The Last of Us is no exception. It airs originally on HBO and HBO Max, the streaming service. And so for season 1, even though it came out a few years ago, it is still available on the streaming service. So why do I have the physical copy? It's for the actual quality that you get on this disc or on these discs that are on here. There's like 5 discs here. So in my area, I've talked about this before. I live in a rural part of Illinois, and so I don't have the greatest internet. Granted, the internet we have now and that we've had for the last like 2 or 3 years has been a lot better than what we used to have in the past for all the other years we've lived here. Before, the internet was so bad, you couldn't even pull up like a web page on your phone or on a laptop to check your email. Like that's how bad it was. Where now it's at least serviceable enough that we can get decent streaming quality. But as with any streaming, even if you have like gig speeds and stuff like that, you will inevitably, eventually, as you're streaming stuff, run into hiccups. You're going to get dips in quality, whether that's video quality, audio quality, where things will kind of like dip, ebb and flow, as you go along. And so I really wanted to rewatch the first season with my wife before season 2 came out. Now I picked this up off of eBay for $20. And this was actually a brand new sealed copy through like a reseller on eBay that I picked it up for. And I feel like that's a pretty good deal. It was 20 bucks free shipping, so I feel like that's a pretty decent deal because I've seen this series out at used stores that I've been to, like a vintage stock and record exchange kind of places. And it's usually more than $20 for the used version, especially for 4K. You may be able to get $20 for the Blu-ray edition, but the 4K is usually more expensive. So to get it brand new for 20 bucks, I felt was a good deal. And this set here is, like I said, I believe it's like 4 discs actually, that has all the original episodes from the first season on here. It has all the kind of behind the scenes little interstitial kind of featurettes that they put on for the series on the streaming service, where you would see kind of a little 5-6 minute little promo thing about the episode you watched if you're streaming through Max. It has all of those for every episode on here, plus some other like behind the scenes documentaries and featurettes and stuff talking about the series, but also like the video game and things like that that it's based off of. Now, this set here, to me, is a demo-worthy reference quality set to have for your home theater. And part of it is the audio, because I really feel like the audio is solid on here, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But the big thing for me is the picture quality, especially on this 4K release. There is some really good, just stunning images on this release, from just the kind of torn down, broken down world, that they visit throughout various points in the series. You get to see really intricate details in the costumes and in the makeup and practical effects of the different clickers and zombie-like creatures that are on there. And you get some really, truly stunning vistas when they kind of move into the western part of the United States, when they go to Wyoming and Utah, and you get these really stunning, just like landscape vista shots. And whether it's just the mastering on this disc, or it's that plus the fact that my HT5000 is such a high quality projector, it just creates some really stunning images for that part of the show. And so I really think the visuals on this release are top notch and really reference level quality for your home theater. Now, the audio on this release as well is pretty good and pretty high quality in my opinion. I still don't think it's up to the level of some major motion pictures and some of the major reference level Blu-ray and 4K discs that you see online. So your Dune films, your Godzilla films, Ready Player One, Top Gun Maverick, you know, a lot of those. I still think this may fall a little bit short, and that's just because this is a more or less episodic, you know, show versus like a major motion picture with their budgets and kind of their productions. But for what it is, I think it is still pretty dynamic and pretty high quality. And right there is a reference level kind of disc for your home theater experience in terms of, you know, episodic television. Now, I think there's a lot of really good sound effects and sound design in the show. You get some really quiet, very horror kind of inspired moments as characters are trying to like crawl around and escape from the different clickers and other like fungus zombies, you know, and they're trying to be quiet and kind of just navigate around them to not alert that they're there. You also get some really dynamic audio, loud kind of pieces of gunshots and fires and different zombie attacks, you know, and different like just explosions from like grenades or like gasoline barrels blowing up and stuff. So you get a lot of that in there as well. And it's just a very well constructed sound mix. And like I said, just the sound effects and the overall atmosphere is really nice. Now, I don't have a Dolby Atmos setup and I don't have a 7.1 setup here in my home theater. I have a standard 5.1 setup. So I would imagine since this was recorded in Dolby Atmos, you would probably get a pretty enveloping kind of sound stage with the Dolby Atmos setup if you had one in your home theater. Since I don't, it gets kind of compressed down and downscaled into a 5.1, but here in my space, it is really immersive. And it just really is a solid audio experience. Maybe not up to the level of some really high quality major motion pictures, but definitely up there in terms of episodic television, in terms of, you know, quality sound design. Overall, I would say this is definitely a demo-worthy reference quality set to have in your home theater setup. You can stream this, and I'm sure if you have really good internet, the streaming quality is going to be pretty good. But if you're someone with kind of, you know, iffy internet at times, like I have, or you just want the best experience possible, this 4K set right here is definitely worth it. I think the picture and the audio quality are top-notch for a show, and that this would definitely be a recommendation from me for you guys to get in your home theater. So with that, I am going to close this video up. I want to say thank you to everyone out there for viewing my content. If you made it this far in the video, I truly do appreciate it. It definitely helps me out. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on The Last of Us Season 1. Let me know about Season 2 if you've been watching it. Definitely let me know if you've played the video games, because I do think the two video games are some of the best modern video games ever made in terms of narrative storytelling and overall just gameplay value. So let me know your thoughts on that down below if you've played the games. And with that, I'm going to say thank you one last time, and I will see you the next time in the next video right here on Secondhand Home Theater. Thank you.